Distance is defined as the magnitude of path length covered by an object or a body while moving. But on the other hand, displacement depends upon the shortest distance between initial and final position. Displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement will always have same value if you move through different routes between any two given points. Now let us understand displacement can be zero, displacement can be negative, and displacement can be positive. But on the other hand, distance can be positive or minimum it can be zero.
Now let us understand one thing, that obviously yes, if we have given any 2 points A and B, there can be multiple routes which can join the 2 points A and B. That means between any 2 points we can have infinite values of distance. But we must remember that between given 2 points we will always have a unique value of displacement. Now, the displacement can be positive or negative because it's a vector quantity. So, obviously, when we talk about the displacement, we define it as the displacement is final position vector minus the initial position vector. We have also studied another definition of displacement which says it is defined as the shortest distance between initial and final position. Speaking in terms of vectors, we can obviously say that displacement vector is equals to final position vector, which is xf, minus initial position vector, which is xi. Now let us move ahead and let us see whether can distance and displacement be equal. Are always distance and displacement equal? So we need to study what are the cases when distance and displacement are equal, what are the cases when distance and displacement are not equal, and is it possible to have a case wherein displacement is zero but distance is not zero. So let us look over here.
एग्जाम्पल में देखते हैं कि ये जो मैन है सबसे पहले ओ से ए तक जाता है, फिर ए पर पहुंचने के बाद हम कहते हैं इसका डिस्टेंस मूव्ड 36 मीटर्स हो गया। अब ये ए से वापस टर्न करता है और ये बी की तरफ चलता है। अब अगर हम इस मैन का डिस्प्लेसमेंट देखें तो इसका डिस्प्लेसमेंट हो गया ओ से बी तक का वेक्टर। तो जितना ओ से बी तक की लेंथ होगी वो क्या हो जाएगा, वो मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट हो जाएगा। और ये जो एरो है ब्लू कलर में, इन दोनों की लेंथ अगर हम ऐड करें, मतलब पाथ लेंथ ओ ए प्लस पाथ लेंथ ए बी, ये मिलके क्या बन जाएंगे, ये बन जाएगा टोटल पाथ लेंथ ट्रैवल्ड, जिसको हम डिस्टेंस बोलेंगे। और यहाँ पर हम देखेंगे कि जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट जो है वो पाथ लेंथ के इक्वल नहीं है। अब अगर हम सिर्फ कंसिडर करें ये जो मैन है ओ से ए की तरफ चलता है, तो यहाँ पर हम देखेंगे कि जो पाथ लेंथ कितनी है 36 मीटर्स, और डिस्प्लेसमेंट का मैग्नीट्यूड भी कितना है 36 मीटर्स है। तो यहाँ पर डिस्प्लेसमेंट और डिस्टेंस इक्वल हो गए। प्रीवियस केस में पाथ लेंथ 48 मीटर्स थी और डिस्प्लेसमेंट 24 मीटर्स था, यहाँ पे इक्वल नहीं थे। अब एक ऐसा भी केस पॉसिबल है जहाँ पर डिस्प्लेसमेंट तो ज़ीरो हो बट पाथ लेंथ जो कि डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल्ड नॉन ज़ीरो हो। तो ये सारे केसेस पॉसिबल।
Now, having studied that, let us understand distance traveled between 2 points may not be equal to the magnitude of the displacement between the 2 points. That means it can be equal and it cannot be equal also. There can be certain cases. It's may or may not, obviously. So we have seen all the three cases. We can conclude that when a particle moves in a straight line without changing its direction, then we can say that distance traveled and displacement of the particle is same. I repeat, when a particle moves in a straight line without changing its direction, then we can conclude that the distance traveled by the particle and the displacement of the particle are equal. Now let us move further. Let's talk about distance in terms of graphical analysis. Now if we look at the first graph, we can very well say that the first graph is not possible. Now question comes, why is it not possible? Let's understand this graph. As the time increases, distance increases. Yes, that's true. Now as the time increases further, the distance is constant. That means a particle would have stopped over there. But now as the time further increases, distance decreases. See, distance cannot decrease. If you are moving, the path length will always increase. So please understand, distance can never decrease during the motion. Distance can never decrease during motion. In the second graph, obviously, yes, it shows either the distance is increasing or it is becoming constant. So again, yes, again, this graph is possible. Now the third graph, there are two reasons for this graph. The distance is decreasing. This is the first reason by which we can say this graph is not possible. And the second reason is, see, time cannot go back. Time cannot change its direction. The direction of time is fixed from back, that means from past to present and towards future. So but in this graph it shows that even the time is decreasing, which is very wrong, which is incorrect. So that is why graph 3 is again incorrect. I hope you have understood so far. Now let us do certain questions related to the distance and displacement in this tutorial section, where we will gain a lot of experience. Now the first question says a point moves in a circle of radius r from A to B. Now this is the thing, A to B. Now it says find the displacement and the distance if the angular displacement is in radian. That means when a particle moves from A to B, distance would be equal to the arc length AB. Arc length AB. Now how do we define this arc length? It's very easy. Arc length is equals to angle. Arc length is equals to angle into radius. So what is the radius? It's r. What is the angle? Theta. So arc length is equals to angle into radius. So that is distance. Now in order to calculate the displacement, we need to find the length, the shortest distance, which is the straight line distance between A and B. Now this full angle is theta. That means if we drop a perpendicular, each of the angle becomes theta by 2. This is radius. Let us say this is the middle point M. Now in order to calculate AM, let us apply the formula sine theta by 2 is equals to perpendicular, which is AM, divided by hypotenuse, which is OA, equals to R. So AM is equals to R sine theta by 2. But we need to calculate AB, which is equal to 2 times AM, since M is the middle point. So the displacement AB becomes 2R sine theta by 2. Now the question further says also find the distance and the displacement from A to C. Now when we talk about A to C, the distance is the semicircle, the perimeter of semicircle. So when we talk about the distance from A to C, which is half the perimeter, which is pi r. When we talk about the displacement, it is the shortest distance between A and C, which is a straight line distance between A and C, which is equals to 2r. The next question talks about, we have been given the initial position I cap plus j cap meter, and the final position is 6 I cap plus 2 j cap. We need to find the displacement. If you remember the definition for the displacement vector, which is delta s vector, that was equal to final position vector minus initial position vector. Final position vector was 6 I cap plus 2 j cap minus I cap plus j cap. Now 6 I cap minus I cap becomes 5 I cap, 2 j cap minus j cap becomes plus j cap, which is displacement vector. Now in this question it is given the position of the particle is a function of time. Function of time means with a different value of time, the value of position is different. That means the value of position depends upon time. It says what is the displacement during 1 to 2, 3 seconds, which means displacement vector delta S vector is final position vector minus initial position vector. Now since the particle is moving along the straight line along the x-axis, so position at t is equals to 3 minus position or x at t is equals to 1, the difference between the two would give us the displacement. So we need to find the magnitude of displacement. So let us substitute the value t is equals to 3 in the equation, which will give us the position of the particle at t is equals to 3, which becomes 3 square plus 2, which is 11 meters. Now let us substitute the value t is equals to 1 and let's calculate the position, which is 1 square plus 2, that is equals to 3 meter. 11 meter minus 3 meter becomes 8 meters, that is equal to displacement vector. Now in the next question it talks about the position. This time it is given in the vector form. So position at t is equals to 1 is I cap plus j cap, since we have substituted the value t is equals to 1 in this equation. Now position vector at t is equals to 3, so that would be 3 I cap plus 9 j cap. So the difference between the two positions at different values of time would give us the displacement vector. That would be 3 I cap plus 9 j cap minus I cap plus j cap, which is 2 I cap plus 8 j cap. Now the second part is an interesting one. It says what is the equation of the path. Now in order to calculate the equation of the path, we must understand that we need to find a relation between x and y. That is what is known as equation of path, or that is also known as equation of trajectory. So let us look at the x. Y is equals to x square. I repeat, x is equals to t, y is equals to t square. We need to eliminate the t and find the relation between y and x. That would be known as the equation of the path. So I hope the distance, displacement and the questions related to them are crystal clear. Minus initial position vector. So what is final position vector? 6 I cap plus 2 j cap minus initial position vector is I cap plus j cap. So 6 I cap, you subtract I from I. So 6 I cap minus I cap becomes 5 I cap. You subtract j from j. So it becomes 2j minus j, which is plus j cap. So the displacement vector is equals to S vector, which is 5 I cap plus j cap. Is this thing clear? This was the next question. Any doubts in this?
So shall we move ahead? Okay. Now, the next question says the position of a particle as a function of time is given by the formula x is equals to t square plus 2. That means the position of the particle, the position x of the particle depends upon the time where t is the time. That means for different values of time, particle has different positions. So x is equals to t square plus 2. Okay. So now it says what is the displacement during 1 to 2, 3 seconds, which means we need to first of all find initial position, we need to find the final position, and in order to find the displacement, we need to subtract them. So S is equals to XF minus XI. So what is initial position? Initial position is at initial time. So what is initial time? Initial time is 1 second. Position at t initial, which is equals to 1 second. So let us substitute the value of t as 1. So it becomes 1 square plus 2, which is 3. So initial position is 3 meters. Now let us talk about final position. Final position is obviously 3 seconds. So let us substitute the value of t as 3. It's 3 square plus 2. 3 square is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. So when we talk about displacement, it is final position minus initial position. So the displacement comes out to be 8 meters. I hope this thing is clear. See, these are all the questions. These questions are the questions which I had given to my student which scored rank 29 1 year back in IIT. Her name was Dharya Sandhania. So I am giving the same material that I've given to the IIT toppers. This is a material, this is the basic material which builds up your basics. So first thing is we must focus on basics and then only we can move ahead. So all this material, all these questions, all these animations are the same animations which has been taught and which has been given to the IIT toppers and those who have produced good ranks. And they are always thankful that if these animations and if these visualizations were absent in their studies, they wouldn't have been able to score well. So that is one of the key mantra to understand this. Anyhow, so next question, I want you to give it a try, each one of you, and understand this. You can tell me the answer. This question is for each one of you attending the session. So yes, let's understand this. We need to find the displacement from 1 to 3 seconds. That means we need to find the initial position vector r initial. R initial vector would be, substitute the value of t as 1 plus 1 square j cap, which is equals to I cap plus j cap. This is R initial vector. Now when we talk about R final vector, that would be 3 I cap plus 3 square 9 j cap. So this is final position vector. The displacement, which is delta R vector, or it is position vector, is RF vector, RI vector. You subtract I with I, J with J. So 3 I cap minus I cap comes out to be 2 I cap. Now 9 J cap minus J cap, it becomes 8 J cap. So delta R is equals to 2 I cap plus 8 J cap. That is the displacement from 1 to 3 seconds. Next part is an important part, equation of a path. We need to understand what is equation of a path. When we talk about equation of a path, we say it is a relation between x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay, relation between x and y coordinate. Okay, so we know that x coordinate is t, because something which is written with I cap denotes the x position. Something which is written with j denotes y position. So y is equals to t square. So what is equation of path? Relation between x and y. So if we don't want t, we just want an equation between x and y. So what we will do? We will substitute the value of t in this equation, and it becomes y is equals to x square. Because instead of t, we have substituted x. So the equation of path becomes y is equals to x square. So this is how we find the equation of path. I hope this thing is clear. Any doubts to anyone in this, you can ask me. Okay, so this was all about today's session. Thanks everyone to attend this session. If you have any doubts or if you have any personal queries, you can ask me and you can interact with me. The last 5 minutes of the session I generally keep for interaction. If you have any doubts or if you want to clarify anything, you can interact with me and you can ask me. The session is open for interaction. If anyone needs any interaction or any clarification, you can ask me.
Yes, I want to ask one thing.
Yes.
I am in 10th class, and what should I do
Please,
from now
first of all,
to
tell
start?
me your name so that I know who you are.
Ravish. I'm Ravish.
What is your name? Ravish. Okay, yes, Ravish. Okay, you are in class 10th? Ravish,
Yes.
can you repeat your question?
I want
Yes,
to
please,
start
Ravish.
preparing. I'm in
Okay,
10th class,
very good.
and I want to start preparing for IIT.
Okay. Ravish, that is the ideal time to start preparing for IIT JEE. First of all, understand in class 10th, you don't have much syllabus. In class 10th, you easily complete syllabus of class 10th and then you move ahead. So the topics that you can focus on in class 10th is geometrical
Then
optics.
what should I do from now?
Yeah, you should focus on geometrical optics. You have the topic optics in your class, okay? Focus on geometrical optics. You should select certain topics, like geometrical optics is one topic, then current electricity is one topic. You should start preparing for these topics. You should study scalars and vectors. You should study basic calculus. This is how you should start studying. The topics which are required initially and which are very scoring, because geometrical optics and current electricity is one such topic that even class 10th student can understand this. So first of all, focus on that topics which does not require anything from class 11th or 12th. So do those topics first, and trust me, you are going to rock for sure. Even, you know, when I was talking about that rank 29, she started preparing from class 10th. First of all, what she did was during her summer vacations, she completed her entire class 10th. After summer vacations were over, she started doing class 11, and she had completed her class 11th in class 10th itself, and in class 11th she was doing her class 12th studies. So that means she got 1 full year for revision. So Ravish, this is high time. This is the exact time when you should start preparing for IIT JEE. You should understand this thing.
I have started chemistry, half I have done of class 11.
Very good. What about physics?
Physics class 11 I have started, but I was not able to understand some
Okay.
topics.
No problem. No problem. You can interact with us. You can connect with us, and I'll make sure that you understand each and every topic properly. Don't worry. That I will take care of it. Okay? Yeah.
Excuse
Anyone
me,
else?
one question I have. Yeah, I'm Venkateshwar. I want to ask one thing that I'm a 12 pass out student and I did physics via H.C. Verma and Erodo, but which book I prefer for chemistry?
See, Venkateshwar, this session is entirely for physics, so I would restrict my answers to physics.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what shall I prepare and how will I prepare for next year to give
Yeah,
examination?
Venkateshwar, there is a very famous book,
Hello?
Cengage Publications, authored by B.M. Sharma.
Yes, yes.
I would suggest you to do that book. It's a very good book, and trust me, if you have completed that book all in all, you will be selected with very good rank. There are two things that you should do. First of all, you should solve my DPPs. Okay. DPPs by Himanshu Sachdeva. This is my DPPs. You can solve them. Okay. This is
What is the
first thing.
aberration of DPP?
Daily practice problems.
Okay.
And then another book is Physics for IIT JEE. Okay. That is by B.M. Sharma. This is me. Okay. You're talking with me. I'm Himanshu Sachdeva. Okay. You can get DPPs from me. And then we have another book, Physics for IIT JEE by B.M. Sharma. This is Cengage Publications. It's a good book. You should restrict yourself to these two things, and trust me, you will find physics cakewalk. You will find physics very easy if you have mastered these two books. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubts to anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please name. First of all, tell me your name.
Sir, my name is Abhay Sharma, and
Yes.
I have passed out my 10th class.
Okay. Right now you are in 11th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I want to ask that how can I practice the questions for physics and mathematics so that I can move for IIT JEE after doing 11th?
अभी आप हिंदी में भी अपना क्वेश्चन बोल सकते हो. It's okay.
सर मुझे क्वेश्चन ये है कि 11th मैंने पास करने के बाद 12th में आऊंगा, उसके 12th के बाद सीधे मुझे सीधे IIT JEE में जाना है, तो सर
Yes,
उसके
very
लिए मुझे
good.
क्या करना है?
देखो अभी सबसे पहले तो हमको ये समझना होगा, we need to understand this thing, that when you are in 11th you should start solving basics, like you should start solving the books like H.C. Verma, and you should do my sheets. That is the first thing. Okay, if you don't do my sheets and if you don't go for H.C. Verma, abhe, your basics would be left out. So you need to build on your concepts first of all. Okay, after mastering these two things, you should focus on past 50 years questions for IIT JEE. These are the three things that you have to do, Abhay. First thing, my DPPs. Second thing, H.C. Verma. That is a book, very famous book, Concepts of Physics by Dr. H.C. Verma. And the third thing, past 50 years questions for IIT JEE. You can contact me. I have the entire compilation for that, and you can reach me and I'll give you that. Don't worry. Okay, these are the three things you should focus for physics. If you have completed these three things, you don't require any other study material, any other coaching study material, because they all do the same thing. Actually, I have been associated with one of the very famous institutes. Okay, you would have heard the name of it, for past around 7-8 years. So that's what I'm telling you, that all these institutes material, you can bypass them and you just focus on three things. You can focus on my DPPs, then you can focus on HC Verma, and then past 50 years questions. This should be your aim. Is it clear?
Sir, it is clear, but I'm asking that I have to go, मतलब कि मुझे जाना है सीधे, मतलब कि 12th जैसे ही मैंने पास किया वैसे ही जाना है, लेकिन इस समय 11th
हाँ
में है, 11th की तैयारी कर, 12th का बोर्ड भी उसमें संभालना होगा, तो 12th की कुछ ही 12th के फाइनल एग्जाम के बाद कुछ ही दिन बाद उसका जेई मेंस का पेपर होता है, तो उसमें सर रिवीजन टाइम तो मिल नहीं पाएगा।
नहीं मिल पाएगा, तो अभी यही 2 साल में साथ में तैयारी करनी है। मेरे को एक बात बताओ, टेल मी वन थिंग, इफ आई आस्क यू टू काउंट फ्रॉम 1 to 100, you will learn the counting from 1 to 10 also, no? Board's exam is counting from 1 to 10. IIT ka exam is counting from 1 to 100. So if you're preparing for counting from 1 to 100, you already know how to count from 1 to 10. So generally the IIT toppers, they do the same thing. Along with their 11th and 12th, they start preparing for IIT JEE. They don't do separate preparation. And these days now you have a very good advantage that by internet you can connect to the best quality teachers. You don't have to run from one place to another place. You don't have to waste your time in traveling to get best IIT JEE coaching. Any other doubts?
Okay. No, sir.
Yes, I have one doubt, one more doubt. Ravish, I'm Ravish.
Yes, Ravish.
मुझे पूछना था कि प्लस टू के मतलब जो परसेंटेज आती है हमारी, उसका उसकी कुछ
क्या?
इम्पोर्टेंस होती है? प्लस टू में हमारी परसेंटेज
Okay. Now this year the IIT has changed its pattern. आपको IIT में admission लेने के लिए, in order to take admission into IIT, you should have a minimum percentage of 75, or you must be among top 20 percentile. That means if you belong to CBSE board, you should have a minimum of 75 to 80%. On a safer side, take it 80%. Okay. If you don't have 80%, you are not allowed into IIT.
Yes, that
The
I know,
marks-
but if we get 90% or 95%, is
Yeah,
there
they
any
are all the
difference?
same. They are all the same. After 80, any percentage is same for IIT in the eyes of IIT. They will not give you extra marks if you get 95% or if you get 90%. Okay. A person scoring 80% is same for them. A person scoring 95% is same for them. All what matters to them is the score in IIT JEE exam. Yeah. Any other doubt? So I hope all the doubts are over. Shall we wrap up the session over here, or you still have any doubts? Guys, I'm about to wrap up the session. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can ask me. Last 2 minutes for you. Is it clear? Okay then, thank you for attending the session. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir.